Yo, y'all hear about what's going on in Australia? They're finding great white sharks, right? They're finding great white sharks. Yo, y'all hear about what's going on in Australia? They're finding great white sharks, right? Bitten in half, like great white sharks. I don't know if y'all know how big a great white shark is. Y'all go look that up. They finding them being bitten in half, right? What the fuck is eating a great white shark? Then they found a bunch of whales beaching themselves, running away from something that's underneath the sea. All right. Earlier this year or last year, I was speaking on like this creature that the Bible talk about. It's called a leviathan, right? In movies, they call it the kraken, like that squid creature or whatever like that. I truly believe that God woke up the leviathan, and the leviathan is literally just like chilling right now, waiting for some type of like order or something from God. I don't know what's happening in the sea right now, but there's some creatures that are running away from something bigger than itself.
Wow. Say shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in his gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. That's interesting. This guy basically was breaking out how these great white sharks, it says great white sharks bitten in half in Australia. Now, if you look up a Google image on a great white shark, then you'll very know that these are not light creatures by any means. In fact, great white sharks and great white whales are some of the most fierce creatures in the ocean. That majority of sea life, they fear these things, man, because they got the contrary opinion that the shark is he's pretty much the king of the ocean. But you got Leviathan, which, it's so funny though, because, I'm assuming he may be a Christian, okay? He didn't specify his religion or anything of that nature. But only people I heard talk about the Leviathan is us, the Israelites, okay? Mainly the men of the Great Millstone. And it's so ironic that these Christians or whoever these people are that's into the Bible outside of us, they have all this so-called profound knowledge on these particular creatures, but they would never give you mention as to why they would never give you mention as to where they heard about these things from, and they would never give the true servants of the Lord credit for their revelations through the Holy Spirit, which is I find very ironic and I find very disrespectful. We put out this information, but yet we don't really get credit for it. But hey, it's all in the Lord's timing. The Lord is going to reveal everything in his time, and we're going to get our credit in due time. But you don't really hear the average person talking about a great white shark, a Leviathan, okay? Because most Christians, they don't know anything before the book of Matthew, okay? They go into Mark, Luke, they go into Matthew's, Mark, Luke, and John, and then they go into what they consider the Pauline epistles. And then that's pretty much where it ends at to the extent of knowledge. But anything before Matthew's, they don't really touch. So the book of Job, the 41st chapter, that's very interesting that he mentioned the Leviathan, because we know that Leviathan have a couple of meanings according to the scriptures. Okay, for one thing, we do know that it's a particular serpent or a particular mammal or a being that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that he has given cadence over the oceans. Okay, like the scriptures say, the Leviathan, he dwells among the waters, okay? That sea serpent, that dragon. And when you watch the movie Godzilla, okay, or you ever heard of something called the Loch Ness Monster, then that's really where your concept of Leviathan it comes from. Okay, they got something called Meg 2, the trench, which Meg was basically like a Leviathan type, but it was like an extra big shark. Okay, like a great white shark, but 10 times bigger, a megalodon. But it was one movie called I think it was called it's like Deep Sea or some shit. It was something called they was at the bottom of the ocean. They was in the Mariana Trench, the deepest depths of the ocean, and yet they came across Leviathan, man, and this creature was literally like a colony of creatures. It was crazy. So when you think of Leviathan, you think of something of that ordeal. Then you have also the account of Esau, as the scriptures can refer to Esau as a Leviathan as well, because Leviathan is just basically like a byword, or not a byword, but a code word for sea serpent, okay, or a serpent like nature, which Esau is a snake. You see, so when this guy mentioned Leviathan, hey, I was like, wow, he must be an Israelite. But judging from how he talk, I can tell he has no beard. He's probably a Christian, and he's probably heard us going to it, because like I said, not too many people go into Leviathan, or a biblical prophet for that matter. But this is a great white shark right here, okay, and this is not a light animal by comparisons, okay. I mean, the great white shark has a lot of animals is part of its food chain, or a lot of sea mammals are part of the food chain of the great white shark, including some whales. Okay, then you got the killer whale, but nonetheless, they finding these things bitten in half. That's crazy, because what's basically putting this thing to flight? You know, because sharks are like the lion of the sea almost, man. They're like the king of the ocean outside of the whales. But regardless of that, what's putting this shit to flight? Because from what I know, the great white shark, when it comes around, everything gets out of his way. Because when a great white shark arises, he's like the bear of the ocean. When he's hungry, he's going to eat. So if you have a creature that's bigger than this, biting this or killing these things off, that got to be something from another dimension, man, okay? Which we know Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai have all sorts of creatures. Okay, I don't think Esau is behind this one. Okay, even though he's a devil, but I don't think he's behind this one. All right. So anyway, let's get a couple of precepts real quick. And you gotta excuse me. I'm actually driving here. So this is the book of Job 41:1, and it says Yahweh's power shown in creatures, which shows you that this is talking about a particular creature. And it also goes into the behemoth as well, which I believe behemoth goes into Bahamath, which means like an abode, or like a giant structure, a house. Because Bayath in the Hebrew means abode, or a house. Bayath, like we say that Bayath Dawadah, which means the house of David. But the behemoth, which is a large creature, goes into like your dinosaurs, which proves that dinosaurs still exist. You know, one concept of that is Jurassic Park. Basically, the T-Rex, he will be considered a behemoth. Same thing with the pterodactyl, you know, the mastodons, and I'm thinking of Power Rangers. But regardless, these particular brachiosauruses, those are considered like behemoths. And you better believe, back in the ancient world, they was 10 times bigger than what they were. Okay, even a giraffe today, up to 40 feet, probably larger than that, you know, but they was eating off the trees. So if trees were 10 times bigger than what they are today, and trees are pretty huge today, but if trees were 10 times bigger than what they were today, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, then imagine how big these dinosaurs were. Okay, imagine how big these giraffes were. Because a giraffe is really, honestly speaking, is basically like a smaller level of a behemoth. You see, it kind of reminds me of a brachiosaurus, or what they call what's that name of this particular dinosaur that I'm thinking about that have a long neck. I don't know if it's the brachiosaurus. I got it mixed up. It's been a while since I've took science and going into like the fossils and all that other stuff. But nonetheless, these things do exist. Okay, so it says, canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook? Or it says, or his tongue with the cord which thou hast let us down? Because we know Esau is in a business of catching creatures, and he had what he called taxidermy. When he takes the creature, he hunts it for sport, and then he'll take the trophy token of it and put it on his damn wall. Okay, I think they call it like taxidermy or some shit. You know, you'll see that with these country hicks or these country bumpkins. They have an actual rug of alligator skin, or they have a deer head on, or antlers over the fireplace, you know, with their trophies of hunting and deer huntings and all this other shit that this man has done. Okay, but going into the word Leviathan, and once again, I'm actually driving, so Salakia. But Leviathan goes into what is that? Lava. which means a leviathan, a sea monster, dragon, a large aquatic animal. Okay, aquatic animal, perhaps extinct dinosaur, plesiosaurus, exact meaning unknown. But it says aquatic animal, which deals with the ocean. Okay, so this is, in this context, it is actually talking about a sea hybrid, man. Which Yahweh Shemel shall have all types of shit in the sea. Okay, you got people that bought out an accounts in particular islands down in the West Indies. It was this one particular folk for that I can't recall the name of it, but basically it was basically like this woman that was like on a beach shore, and basically she entices people to come in the water, and they said that she had the body of a woman and the bottom half of a fish, basically as a mermaid. Okay, and you know, it ain't beyond the realm of possibility, because hey, we seeing things, all types of shit, man. You got all types of apparitions out here. Okay, the Lord is revealing the chariots, and that's just to name a few things that Yahweh Shai has in his repertoire. So hey, I wouldn't deny mermaids, man. I mean, they make movies about the shit, they got documentaries about it. Why can't it be real? You know, just like apparitions, these things are very real, in my humble opinion. Okay, but it says here, canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? It says, would he make many supplications unto thee, and would he speak soft words unto thee? And it says, and would he make a covenant with thee, which is a covenant goes into agreement. It says, and thou would take him for a servant forever. Because like I said, Esau Edom, he likes to catch things and he likes to destroy shit. Okay, Esau likes to hunt things for sport. I don't think that Esau Edom haven't been looking for these particular creatures, man, because like I said, they have what you call the Mariana Trench, which harbors the I believe, what is it, the Northern Pacific, if I'm not mistaken. And they stated that it would take 2 Mount Everest just to pierce the middle of the ocean because it's that deep. Now they came out and stated that that's not the only type Mariana Trench. They said, in fact, all the major oceans of the world, from the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, you know, these particular notable bodies of waters all consist of their variations of the Mariana Trench. So the one that we know about is the one that they're speaking about, but you have several types of Mariana Trenches, man, okay, which is easily 40 to 50,000 feet down. Okay, and we know, according to research, Esau is a damn lie. He's only discovered 5% of that of the ocean. Okay, he haven't discovered 40% of the ocean. That's a damn lie, because it's parts of the ocean that you can't even get down beneath. Okay, and you got what they call bioluminescence. Okay, bioluminescence, which luminance goes into light. Okay, you have particular fish, you know, like electric eels and so forth like that, that give their own particular light source, or luciferase, so to speak, because the deeper you go down, the darker the waters become, to the point pitch black. It's like being in outer space, and I see why Yahweh Shai compared the waters to the waters, the physical waters on the earth versus the waters into the outer heavens. Because when you look at outer space, it is basically a body of water, okay? It's just in a different form of vapor, okay? Versus the liquid on the earth, it's just different forms. But nonetheless, when you go out to the abyss or out into the outer heavens, it's the same concept, okay? This is why there's no atmosphere up there. Same thing in the water. There's no atmosphere down there because you can't breathe underwater, technically, with just the bare lungs, man. You need a particular suit. Same thing in outer space. There's no atmosphere above Earth's atmosphere, so therefore you can't breathe in outer space. It's a different realm. So this is why a lot of times astronauts, they train underwater, okay, with a lot of scuba equipment, because it's the same concept. Just different forms of water, but it's the same concept, man. That's why if you see the sky, it mimics the ocean. When the sky is blue, the ocean looks blue. When the sky is gray, the rivers look, you know, in a roundabout way, okay? But anyway, it reads here, it says, without play with him as a bird, or without bind him by thy maidens. Okay, it says, should the companions of the banquet of him, and it says, should they depart among the merchants? It says, can thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Okay, because this creature is unattainable, is unmanageable, man. Okay, you ain't gonna get some anchor or some type of naval ship or some type of warship. You're not gonna reel leviathan on your boat, man. Okay, this creature is fucking huge. And when you watch Godzilla, and there's something called, you got Godzilla, Mega Godzilla. And if you see how, and what does Godzilla, he comes from underneath the ocean. Okay, like when you watch Power Rangers, when Tommy did the dragon flute and called on the Dragon Zord, that was like their concept of a Godzilla, Leviathan type creature, because he comes from underneath the ocean. Okay, and like that Jake said, he believed that the Most High has woke up the Leviathan, and it makes a lot of sense because we're in a time of prophecy being fulfilled. And if Leviathan is one of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's primary foes of judgment, then it's easy to understand why these things are happening. And you know what? When it shows itself, then hey, that's gonna be the scripture's gonna be fulfilled, because hey, we're gonna get ready to see a lot of strange things, man. Like that show called Stranger Things. Hey, things are getting ready to happen, man. Okay, and they already are happening. So don't be surprised, man. You see something coming out of the ocean that you can't fathom. But it says here, lay thy hand upon him and remember the battle and do no more. But behold, the hope of him is vain, and should not one be cast down at the sight of him? Right, because this thing is terrifying to behold in the vastness and how large it is, man. Okay, you're not just going to reel Leviathan out of the ocean, especially if he's biting fucking megalodons in half. Come on, man. What can a mere mortal do with that? This is why, hey, you Edomites, hey, the Lord is getting ready to lay the sword to you, man. Okay, because that's your judgment. And it reads here, it says, no one is so fierce that dare stir him up. And like that Jake said, he believed the Most High, or he believed God has woke up the Leviathan. So, hey, if that is the case, then, hey, a lot of judgment is getting ready to commence. So, hey, if you were Edomite, I wouldn't be out on them waters, you know. But it says here, no one is able, so fierce that dare stir him up, but who is able to stand before me? And it says, who has prevented me that I should repay him? And whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. And I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion, man. Okay, so Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is in Lord of all these creatures, man. Okay, all these creatures. Not just one, not just two, but these are the Lord's creatures, man, that he have for an appointed time. This is why when you read Sirach, what is it? I believe the Tun Sirach, when he said that he have spirits created for vengeance, and at the time they shall allow out their strokes. And roughly paraphrasing it, this dude's finna hit me, bro. It says, in the time of his judgment, they shall appease the wrath of him that made him. So yeah, man, these things are getting ready to be the real deal. But it says here, who can discover the face of his garment, and who could come to him with a double birth, with a double bridle? It says, who can open the doors of his face, and his teeth are terrible round about. Okay, said his teeth are terrible round about. And it makes sense as to why he mentioned that this particular thing bit these sharks in half. Now, we don't know if that's the case. I mean, we don't know. But just the fact that he said that, the spirit is moving out here. Because what can literally fuck up a great white shark outside of killer whales and other white sharks? I don't really see too many other creatures of the sea doing that to a great white shark. Though they do have their prey, you know, and they do have their enemies, whatever. But overall, no typical fish ain't gonna do nothing with a shark, man. That's why it says his scales are his pride, shut up together as a closed seal. So you have like this particular armor on, man, and it's impenetrable. You see, it says one is so near to another that no air could come between them, and they are joined one to one, and they stick out together, and they cannot be sundered. Wow. So this is going into Leviathan, man, and this is describing him to the T. And it says, and his Nesons a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning, and out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks leap out, a fire leap out. So this is basically like a sea dragon breathing fire, man. And it makes sense as to Godzilla, how he was able to blow those beams out of his mouth, so to speak. They're describing it right here. This is like a Godzilla. So if the Most High has this, then it that shows us right there that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is capable of anything, man. Okay, nothing of imagination is too big for the Heavenly Father and the Son. Okay, nothing is too big to ward off the imagination of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It's just impossible, man. And it says here, out of his nostrils goeth smoke. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, and out of a seething pot of cauldron. And it says, and his breath kindled coals, and his flames goeth out of his mouth, and a flame goeth out of his mouth, which goes into the fierceness of this creature, man. Okay, which goes into the tenacity of this creature, the fierceness, the horribleness, man. Because like I said, the Lord have strange creatures out here, and at the time of judgment, and at the time of the Lord's visiting the earth, these creatures are going to be released in their time. Okay, like Bigfoots. You know, you got Bigfoots out there. They call them Sasquatches. You got what they call what are these things called, man? Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers, which is basically like they would consider like a dog human hybrid. Like if you brothers ever played Killer Instinct, basically that character Sabretooth, he's basically like a skinwalker, man. Okay, have men tendencies, or he's like a man, but he have primal wolf-like tendencies, man. You know, primal type. And these are the times we coming into, and I can't say that enough, even though we sound like a broken record. All right, but concentrate a little better now. And it says here, his mouth kindled coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth, and his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. And the flakes of his flesh are joined together, and they are firm in themselves, and they cannot be moved. And his heart is as firm as stone, yea, his heart is a piece of neither millstone. And when he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid, okay? By reason of breaking, they purify themselves. And it says, and the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, and the spirit of dart, nor the habergon, meaning that they can't capture this thing, meaning that they can't captivate. They can't just reel a man like they do sharks or whales. It's just not gonna, because the armor of him is impenetrable. Okay, and hey, I'm pretty sure Esau has tried. All right, now they don't really make too mention of it, but it got to be a reason why Esau is trying to discover the seas the way he is, because hey, he's trying to catch this thing. He's trying to capture the Lord's creation. You know, and it says he esteemed iron as straw, and his brass is rotten wood. So basically, when they try to shoot the hooks into him, he breaks the shit off. Like they most powerful weapons, like the particular like they got these particular Navy ships, they got like these metal cables, you know, and like literally these things are able to pull the force of thousands of pounds, man. And nets lightweight to Leviathan. And it says, and the arrows cannot make him flee, and sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble, and he laugheth at the shaking of the spear. Sharp stones are under him, and he spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. And he maketh the deep to boil like a pot, and he maketh the sea like a pot of ointment, and he maketh the path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary, but upon the earth is not his like, who is made without fear. And he beholdeth all things. He is the king over all the children of pride, man. And who is the children of pride? You goddamn Edomites. So, hey, play with it if you want to. All right. So I got another precept here. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon. What is Wisdom of Solomon? The 11th chapter. And I'm going to start at verses. Let's start at 17. It says, for thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form, wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out either fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of thy eyes, whereof not only their harm might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroy them. Okay? And this is the point. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah has creatures that we can't even fathom. Okay? We ain't seen shit yet. Last precept. This is the book of Psalms 104. And I'm going to start at verses... Let's start at verses 24. It says, oh, Yahweh, how manifold are thy works? And when you go into manifold, it goes into multiple. It says, and wisdoms hast thou made them all, and the earth is full of thy riches. So is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. Okay? There goes the ships. There's that leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. And these wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. And what's going to be the meat of leviathan? You people. Okay, mainly you Edomites. And it says that thou givest them they gather, thou opens thy hand and are filled with good. Okay, but it told you Leviathan plays with ships, man. And I believe when you go into that word Leviathan here, it's the same one that we read in the book of Job, the 41st chapter. So going back to what this Jake said, hey, he may be on to something. But hey, with that, call all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Lord's will you will edify into the next lesson. Shalom.
Yo, y'all hear about what's going on in Australia? They're finding great white sharks, right? Bitten in half, like great white sharks. I don't know if y'all know how big a great white shark is. Y'all go look that up. They finding them being bitten in half, right? What the fuck is eating a great white shark? Then they found a bunch of whales beaching themselves, running away from something that's underneath the sea. All right. Earlier this year or last year, I was speaking on like this creature that the Bible talk about. It's called a leviathan, right? In movies they call it the kraken, like that squid creature or whatever like that. I truly believe that God woke up the leviathan, and the leviathan is literally just like chilling right now waiting for some type of like order or something from God. I don't know what's happening in the sea right now, but there's some creatures that are running away from something bigger than itself.